One of the things I can say as somebody who's getting better, and I do attribute this to our co-streams, I've been getting better at understanding this data because of working with you. One of the things you want to do when you start looking at polls, if I want to give any advice whatsoever, polls, I talked about this with Ron Coleman on Friday.
Single polls are useless. Only use aggregates.
Yeah. And polls have now become a thing that is completely different. Polls have now become content. They are no longer a tool that is used exclusively by political people. They are used to generate and create content. And Ron Coleman brought up on Friday, he's like, have you noticed all these new polls that you never heard of before on Twitter? Oh, Trump's up this and this poll and that poll. It's literal nonsense. It's if you go and you look at some of these polls,
it's like it's still useful, but it's less useful than it could be.
Yes. If we look at all these Harris, look at Harris is up. If we go and we look at what's the last, why is it as Real Clear polling? We go here. Where do they show the latest big one? Oh, here. General election, Trump versus Harris. Ooh, Harris up by 1. Let's look at the actual poll. Oh, CBS News. Okay. And
fair and balanced, by the way.
Yeah. She has a 1-point edge nationally. They don't.
That's the thing. She doesn't actually have a lead. That's according to a single poll. In the aggregate, she's still behind.
If you look, you usually have to look and it's buried. And usually these people poll like 1,000 people. That's it.
We polled 1,000 Black lesbian females, and we found that Donald Trump was behind.
Now, this was a YouGov post that did have 3,000 registered voters.
YouGov actually does fairly well.
Yeah, this one is okay. Margin of error 2. You got to learn to dig into these things.
But that's the problem. The average person doesn't have the time to do so. We have to do it for them.
Right. The INI issues an insight poll, like literally who, and like they're just creating content. Oh, we polled 1,000 registered voters by sending them an email that they responded to.
People justifying their own mediocre jobs.
Right.
Their job is to write opinion pieces on YouGov or wherever it happens to be.
That's 1,000% correct. There's nothing.
Well, I made my money for the day. I'm gonna go and sack out. I'll look at RCP in the morning. Bullshit.
Yeah, right. Right. And then they'll write an article about it, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Like poll data now, even the aggregate is becoming less reliable because they're putting more garbage into the system.
At least it's better than one-off polls, though. It's still more reliable. It's just we have to take all the polls that are aggregated with a grain of salt.
If you look at these,
it's making it fucking hard.
If you look at Trump Harris in Wisconsin, Bloomberg says Harris is up 2. That's baloney. Harris is not up 2 points in Wisconsin. I have not seen a Harris yard sign anywhere. Anywhere. I see lots of Trump signs. Now, I do live rural, so to be fair, I'm sure there are some like in the city, in the city.
The other problem with determining the truthfulness of polls and things like that is like within a state or within a region, you'd have to review the whole state or the whole region. And, nobody really has the time for that.
Yeah. I mean, if you polled 1,000 people in Milwaukee, of course, Harris is leading. You know what I mean? Like you have to dig really, really, really deep to figure out anything, and then push polls. Ever since I bought, by the way, I'm annoyed about this from the Trump campaign. Ever since I bought a Trump hat, by the way, I bought the coveted gold Trump hat, which nobody has. And now I think my assistant took it.
When I go there, I'm going to steal it too.
Yeah, I have the coveted gold Trump hat. You don't see these things like anywhere. Gold on gold. And I bought this, right? At the RNC.
Yeah.
A couple of things I want to gripe about. One, Take a guess what I paid for it. I know I'm leading in and you're going to think, oh,
500.
Oh God, no. $50. But $50 for a snapback hat is absurd. Like these,
I figured you were getting truly only 50.
So $50 plus, in order to buy it, I had to give them my driver's license and phone number and email address because it goes down as a political contribution. All I wanted was a hat. So I wait in line. I see the golds are like totally sold out. So I'm like, oh, I want this one then. I want it. Otherwise, I was going to put it back. He's like, I need your driver's license. I'm like, for what? And I said, and they're like, and your phone number. I'm like, give him a fake phone number. But for whatever reason, I gave him my real one. And I have been getting nonstop text messages that thankfully my phone identifies as spam, like before they hit my inbox. And they are literally all push polls. They're like polls that are like, vote on this right now. What do you think about JD Vance? I know that these are probably feeding into these polls.
Most of them are just to get donations, actually. Like they'll have like something interactive, but then
okay. If I answer,
yeah. If you answer any of those, it's going to take you to WinRed, and you'll be able to answer like the little quiz or whatever the hell it is, and then it'll say, "Well, will you pledge $50 or 1776 to defeat Kamala Harris and prop up Donald Trump?" I've donated a couple of times to WinRed, but it does get a little bit annoying, yeah.
Tell me if you think now. So you just said that. Like, I feel like no normies. I mean, I feel like as a normie, like I will never make a political contribution. Now, will I pay $50 for a hat? Sure, but like, I don't understand. Like, so Aiden Ross donated $3 million to Donald Trump's campaign. That's probably how he got this interview.
I've donated 200.
But like, why are private citizens donate? Why would Elon give 50 million? I don't understand it. Like, that's been debunked, I believe. Right. It's a super PAC.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean. Like, why? Like, I actually despise. Like, I had a viral tweet go out. Kamala Harris asking for donations while wearing a $60,000 Tiffany's necklace. Like that's a real thing. It was a $60,000 Tiffany's necklace, and being like,
well, the problem
is poors give me money.
The problem is that anything political costs so goddamn much these days.
Yeah, I'll buy endless Trump hats, but I feel weird just giving them my money. You know,
I just said fuck it a couple of times and sent $200 to the Trump campaign in 2 different donations, and I'll probably do one more.
Yeah, I definitely understand it. You know, I
look at it this way. It's a sound investment. If Trump is reelected, my taxes stay lower.
Yeah.
If Kamala's elected, my taxes rise. So I'm like $100. It's okay. That's a good trade-off.